Now, you uncovered life-threatening ethical violations in the book, you said. Can you tell me about some of the most alarming discoveries when researching for this book?
Well, there are so many that I've gotten firsthand insight into, I would say hundreds and hundreds over the years. And I tried to pick some really selected anecdotes with data and documents to help people understand how we got where we are today. I started, like most people, probably around the year 2000, before I was assigned to look into these stories as a CBS News investigative correspondent. I used to just think we got the facts from our public health officials. They would never mislead or lie to us. Our doctors were the best informed. I thought peer-reviewed published studies were the gold standard and were probably always true. And really the truth, as I learned through many, many years of reporting and investigating all of this, is just shocking. There are so many ethical lapses in studies that are done, even on babies and children, some stories that I broke some years ago, that show researchers intentionally misled parents on the risks of studies that ended up in some cases resulting in the deaths of children who should never have been put in the studies to begin with, and who the parents say they were never told about the studies and the risks, or some cases didn't even know their kids were being put in a study.
You talked about money as one of the steps that pharma uses to silence opposition. Your book addresses pharma's issues of silencing people as well. Are there any other questions of silencing? Because some of my audience members like to talk about people who just disappeared after calling out big pharma. Do you get into that at all in the book?
Yeah, I do. I mean, there's one chapter I think that gets to the heart of that. I call it the frog professor, because it's an exemplary case of what can happen to an honest researcher who has the misfortune of researching something that turns up something negative about a very profitable chemical or pharmaceutical. In this case, he was assigned to research by the company who made it, atrazine, which is ubiquitous in our drinking water. We're probably all getting doses of it, and the EPA was considering how and whether to limit it. The drug company or the chemical maker was hoping this frog professor, as I call him, because he was using frogs in his experiments, was hoping he would find that the chemical was perfectly safe. Unfortunately, he found that it does many bad things, including feminizing male frogs. Sounds familiar. You know, there's some parallels to what we're seeing in our society today and what some of these chemicals and pharmaceuticals can do. But in short, they wouldn't let him publish, which is another trend people don't understand. The pharmaceutical and chemical industry controls the terms of what you will see published so that you won't know about the negative studies and effects in many cases. But to his credit, he went independent, repeated the work. He's a Berkeley professor, and confirmed that and much more, which has been confirmed by many other scientists over the decades, as to the harms that these chemicals, and this one in particular, can do.